I'm not saying you need to watch it tonight, but
Right.
like you need to watch it. And uh, if you want to go match by match, that's fine. But the three things that everybody needs to see are the strap match with Starks and Danielson.
So
The Go
go
ahead.
really quick. That was really surprising that Danielson stepped in, which makes me really sad that he wasn't able to step in a week before at Wembley.
Well, the thing about that, John, is that he couldn't wrestle at Wembley because he wasn't cleared.
Right.
Meltzer wrote in the Observer Friday before All Out. He said Danielson's timeline looks like he's hit or miss to be ready for the Wrestle Dream show.
Yeah.
Hoping for mid-September, or excuse me, for hoping for mid-October. Maybe if it's a miracle, he can make the New York show. If it's a
Yeah.
miracle, and then you know what happens whenever you have people in your company that aren't bags of shit, they
Dude.
step up.
Yeah.
And so
That guy that
somebody says, I'm not gonna, I don't want to come out to wrestle you, Samoa Joe, and they fire him. And good on whoever thought, hey, we have a dragon. And then that bastard comes out there and not only works the strap match, John, that match is a 25-minute crime. It is violence. It is an assault like you ain't never seen, and it is beautiful. If that's
Sparks,
not five or
Sparks
five
definitely.
plus stars, yeah. If that's not 5 or 5 plus stars, somebody's got something wrong. That was something else, man.
that yeah, whenever I saw that Danielson came back, because I mean I've seen a lot of stuff that happened, I just haven't watched it. So I know that Danielson came back, and that got me really excited because the only thing that All In felt like it didn't have was Danielson. And now that Danielson's back, and it sounds like Danielson is slipping in the CM Punk spot on Collision, I'm very, very that makes me excited. And to also think about uh one thing that we didn't mention in the Punk stuff, that I want to get out here too, that I know that Andretti doesn't care about, but Edge, who if they need veteran help and they want to make a big splash, there is no better person to call. There's only one person available right now, and it's Edge. And you can slip him into a role. He doesn't have to work every single week. He's good. I'm sure that he's really good friends with Danielson. You can let
Well,
him have some creative.
Christian's the one
and
that would bring him in,
and
and
Christian's the one to bring
Christian
him in.
just
And
resigned.
correct, Christian just re-upped. Why not throw them both? If they want a big splash for Arthur Ashe here at the end of the month, you sign me up even more for
Well,
that
and,
because
and the
I'm here for
reason it
that.
would work is because Christian might not be everybody's favorite. He was certainly a poop fart debut because we thought we were getting like Brock Lesnar or
Yeah,
Goldberg, and it
yeah,
was Christian. But you
he's
know
so
what?
good.
He's such a chumpany man. He really is. He's an all-star worker. He's
Yes.
never going to wrestle a bad match.
Nope.
He's a pro on the microphone. And so obviously he knows people in that backstage and gets along to get along. And so I'm 1,000% positive that Edge would be able to assimilate with that locker.
I would like to have him. I know I said that it's not a good call to pay him all that money, but now I think it is. I think it's worth it to pay him to come in and be a well liked, well respected guy that is willing to put people over and work as an enhancement guy. Put him on top, and he's going to be a top guy, but he's ultimately there to put people over eventually. And I think that's the right call. You bring in people and you surround everybody with people that want to be there, that are going to be helpful. And I have no reason to believe that Edge wouldn't be that guy from day one.
I think that Edge will give us everything that CM Punk couldn't. Like he'll give us the feel goods with Edge and Christian. He can do something with the Hardys. They can do the Young Bucks. They can do FTR. They can do singles matches. And it's not like Edge is going to be a dickhead and shit all over
Edge and
everybody.
Christian versus the Young Bucks can legitimately headline a pay per view.
Hey,
I'll
Like I
yeah,
mean,
dude.
headline a pay per view.
let's do it. I'm
Yes,
all in, man. I'm all in.
that's why I'm all in.
I'm not as biggest fan of his work in the ring, especially like since he came back. But I think it's a slam dunk hire to bring him in and to.
They just freed up a lot of money because they ain't got to pay CM
Well,
Punk
and I'll
anymore.
tell you what else. And I know that he doesn't care, but me and you guys do, and our little geek squad do. His only chance at the Observer Hall of Fame,
yes,
is an AEW run. It's his only chance because this WWE run did late.
Yeah,
he was not getting in after this WWE run. An AEW run legit might make it happen. If it's a strong 3-year run, it can legit make it happen.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to derail you
even
there.
if he just is a guy that comes in that is only there for 2 years and is able to
and just has great matches. Great matches elevates people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
There's something to be said about being a good human being also.
Right.
And Edge already is a very well-liked person.
And Edge is already friends with FTR as well, like really good friends too. So like that makes me think too that like they can make it a reality. So I didn't mean to throw you off there and steal your spotlight, but I had to get the Edge stuff out.
All right. So Andretti, I'm on the cell phone here, so I'm just looking at your our three beautiful faces. Uncle John, if you could just pull the card up, I'm going to go off of memory. Let's see how good I got this. Andretti, we started with Adam Cole and MJF versus the Dark Order, Silver and Reynolds, in what I thought was a very bleh match to announce. But I'll tell you what, dude, to be the opener of a show and to have Reynolds and Silver playing the subtle heel, and then having Reynolds being the person that hurts MJF's neck, and then the announcers play up that Reynolds trained MJF. I thought that was all very good story stuff. And then when MJF comes back as the triumphant babyface, I thought that this match was a wonderful opener. I was disappointed with it being announced, but for it being the opener in the show, I had no problem with it. It was a 3-star match, man. It was as regular could be, but it still was an awesome way to start the pay-per-view. What do you think?
I didn't care either way. I mean, I was cleaning while that match was on. I'm not gonna waste my mental energy on Silver and Reynolds at this point.
Wow,
I got you. To me, seriously, for me, I thought that it was a really, really fun start. So I am not the pisser that Andretti is right there. I thought that this was a great start to the show. This was not a semi-main. This was not a build your show around it match, but for it being the opener, totally cool. Second match on the show, was that the Big Meaty Men?
Yeah,
no,
Joe
dude, thank you for bringing that. Okay, so that was Big Meaty Men, but it wasn't the Big Meaty Men I was thinking about. Really quick, Shane Taylor, hats off to you, man, because I did not like Shane Taylor matches for a long time. I disliked Shane Taylor matches so much that I quit watching original Ring of Honor. And this guy came out there and looked like he belonged and worked like he belonged, and he lost. He lost to set up a Joe and MJF program. Go ahead.
They just threw him out there with no build up to who this guy was. It's just this big guy that we now have on a pay-per-view. They gave nothing.
Well, we have to be watching Ring of Honor, which we don't.
No, and why would, I mean, come on. We got to be able to do something. If that guy's going to be challenging for a match that you want people to buy, he's got to be on Dynamite or Collision and get a couple wins. Just show who
I completely agree with you.
Who is this person?
I completely agree with you.
We only know him because we watch wrestling. That's the only reason why we know who he is. I mean, nobody other than hardcore fans is going to know who the hell Shane Taylor is.
Well, I'll tell you what. That's what's kind of
the guy did a great job. He did a really good job.
That's what's frustrating. As soon as I saw that Shane Taylor was going to be on the show, I was like, dude, Shane Taylor hasn't been on television ever. And then, like, the other thing that kind of irritated me too, that like I saw that Tony said after the show, was that people have shown that they're going to pay pay-per-views and they know that we're going to put on really good pay-per-views. So there's no emphasis to make TV better or something like that. Like, it's essentially what he said.
That's like saying we're not.
I'd be willing to bet, John, that he didn't say. I'd be willing to bet that he didn't say out loud that there's no reason to make TV better.
I'm pulling
like I think that this is you still being like, my glass still has piss in it, because I'm willing to say that he didn't say to everybody, there's no reason for me to make good TV shows.
He said he stopped paying attention to the discourse online about pay-per-view builds because of how good the pay-per-view turnouts in the end.
Well, they're great shows. That
I know
actually
that
is true.
It
and
is
and here's
true.
the thing, dude. If I don't need to watch the shows during the week, then I just freed up 4 hours during the week, and I'll still pay $50 to have great 4 hours every 3 months. So he's not wrong there. I don't care.
I like to watch the weekly shows because I like to get the stories.
You don't watch them anymore.
That's true. That is true. I don't watch Dynamite anymore. I was to sit down and watch me some Raw. But yeah, that is a little. I would. They need to get better at explaining why people are there. I feel like they don't do enough of that, and we've been saying that since day one.
All right, so then the next match was Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is awesome. This was another violent assault. It was not the crime scene that Danielson and Starks was, where Danielson literally just starts whipping Starks in the face with an actual strap for minutes and minutes and minutes. But my God, Darby Allin, do what you can to make yourself famous, I guess. This was great.
Yeah, loved it. Luchasaurus looked like a brutal guy. It came off really well. I mean, that guy was pretty damn good.
Picked up steps, put them onto Darby's carcass, smashed the steps into Darby's carcass, triple pile driver or tombstone with a dead eye or snake eyes, and then into like it was. I'm so glad that Luchasaurus got a win. That even though it was a little bit murky, looked decisive as hell. Because good for Luchasaurus, man. Because even though the whole angle with this is that Christian says it's his title, the fact that you have a credible, big, nasty man that's holding that belt, I think only serves the story better. So I thought that this was a gold star, man. This was really good.
Yeah.
Okay,
next up, did we get big meaty men?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Miro Hobbs in the next
one. Dude, the only reason that this doesn't have all of the stars is I then had to spread some out to Starks and Danielson and then Omega and Takeshita and then Mox, and all for different reasons later. When I first saw this match, if I had 100 stars to divvy out in one show, I'd have given all 100 to this match. This, dude, they do like almost like big man lucha at the beginning. And then all of a sudden, the crowd was chanting, and I thought they were chanting slap that knee because I thought they were making fun of a spot. And I realized that they were chanting slap that meat. And these big mother baggers just started beating the holy hell out of each other. And they never stopped. John, this is a 17-minute meat fest. The crowd is chanting. They're chanting, oh my gosh, they're chanting
meat forever.
Slap that meat forever. It's so good, dude. And these guys are selling in the right spots and no selling in the right spots. And this was freaking awesome, man. This show went from the Darby match was really good. This show went from, hey, this is going to be good, like a good show, to, oh, baby, right here. Because it doesn't stop from right there, man. Like, this was awesome. And then we had the Lana debut, which in terrible AEW storytelling fashion, Rusev either forgot that he was married or there was he used to walk around and say that like my hot flexible wife has forsaken me or whatever. I do remember that.
Yeah.
But that was also a year and a half ago. So
I don't know why
maybe
they
this will go somewhere.
I don't know why they felt the need to piggyback off the WWE storyline because that she had sex with Bobby Lashley, and then so he wasn't gonna, like, I don't know why they had to piggyback off that. Because I did see that and I was like, damn, why don't we just talk about the hot flexible wife instead of piggybacking off of what WWE did?
Well, the thing about it, John, is that I don't even know if that's been implicated. He went from being he was the game guy or whatever, and then he was the redeemer, and he would talk about my hot flexible wife, and then he stopped and he was like, My God has forsaken me. My hot flexible wife has forsaken me. But then we never got rationale as to why. And so I don't even know if those those two timelines even match. I don't. That just it was weird. But you know what? Whatever, dude. That match was so great that I don't even care.
Yeah, I don't care either. I don't. I love the match. I love both those guys. Just give me more of both, or give me more of them together. That's all I care about. Whatever.
Yep.
You want to have Lana out there prancing around in a bra, so be it. I'm not going to tell you not to do that, but I mean, it's
right.
I don't care. Whatever. Just give me more.
Right.
Give me more of all of the above.
Right. Then the strap match we covered. Strap match.
Well, we had the next match was Statlander Ruby, which I didn't see any of because I was making fun at that point.
So I, you know what, I watched that, and that was the one where Tony comes out and Tony costs Ruby, and so that was cool. I feel like they went too long, and if I was willing to bet, I would assume that Omega laid this match out, because this match was laid out like one that was supposed to be way better than it was. And it was only because, like, Statlander's great, but she's not like solid, if that makes sense. Like spots aren't crisp, transitions and spots aren't always crisp, everything like that. Like, she's really strong. She's an awesome physical presence. I thought Soho was wonderful in this match. I thought she did a great job. And I love the Toni Storm finish. So yeah, I mean, that was fine.
Then the next one.
Then we had the strap match, right?
Strap match was next, which we talked about. It was excellent. Ricky Starks looked like $1 million, and then we had the Combat Club versus or Claudio and Yuta versus Kingston and Shibata, which I didn't see any of that either.
So you know what? With this match was fine, and it was. You want to talk about death spot, man? Like, after that crowd saw that match with those people, and that violence and that blood and that finish and everything else, these guys were in the death spot. And you know what? They went out there and they fucking worked. We got to bleep that one. And they worked, and they, what's his face? Where Yuta eats a back fist from Shibata, and he hits him so clean with this back fist in the face that Nigel screams out loud, "And this is why I won't return to pro wrestling." And then somebody else says something to him, and he says, "Oh yeah, he aimed for the back of his head, but the front got in the way first," because it looked like he literally sliced through his head Mortal Kombat style. The only thing that was bad about this was the finish. Claudio literally just hits Eddie Kingston with an uppercut, and then Kingston doesn't kick out, and then he kicks out at like 4. And I don't know if that was supposed to happen, or if Kingston forgot to kick out, or if he was really knocked out. It was very strange, but you know what? It was a fine match. Like, it wasn't bad, and it was in a death spot. And so for that, I actually give it a little bit more, credit than I would have otherwise, which sets the table for just gorilla knockers. My God almighty. Omega, Takeshita, folks, just when you think that this Will Ospreay guy is the best guy in the world, this Danielson guy is the best guy in the world, here comes Kenny, man. And I go back to whatever I said on that mid-year show. If you say Kenny ain't the best, you're wrong. Dude, he's so good. This match is insanity from start to finish. Storytelling's incredible. Don Callis should be, Don Callis has his own regular T-shirt right now on Pro Wrestling Tees. Yes. It's $109.
Yes, that's so good. It's so awesome.
$109, dude. It's half his face and half a lion face, and it says something in Latin.
Yeah. Andretti, buy that.
No.
Put that on the wall behind you.
Dude, I love Callis, but I'm not spending $110 on a shirt.
Somebody bought that shirt too.
I wouldn't be surprised if multiple people have bought it. Dawn deserves it, man. So buy him for Dawn.
Yeah, buy him for Dawn.
But guys,
Hashtag,
this match.
hashtag buy him for Don.
Yeah, that's a new shirt
the,
on podskimerch.com. Buy it for Dawn.
This match was so good. John, since you haven't seen the show, I'm actually not going to go into detail so that you can see what happens in the match. It's that good.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Even if you know the finish, how they get to the finish, then it's not worth me spoiling it for you.
I just hope that we got the Rocket on Takeshita now, and we're going to really push him for something big.
There's no way that he wouldn't, given the relationship with New Japan, given the relationship with DDT, given the position that Kenny Omega's in, and now that there's no CM Punk on Saturday night, that guy's got a chance to shine.
Yeah.
So now's the time. It's past due, and I feel like they are getting behind it now. So let's rock.
I remember
really
seeing
quick,
him.
I got to say two things. And I got to go. So I'll let you go.
Absolutely.
First thing is that 8-man tag was great. I love how, even though FTR is CM Punk's boys, thank you for being pros and for making that match really fun, because the whole match was them and the Young Bucks doing spots together. So John, watch that. If you want to see Dax and Matt do the BT trigger together, if you want to see
oh my God.
Nick, if you want to see Nick and Cash do the big rig together,
oh my God,
and Spike Pot, please, John, it's so much fun. The Bang Bang Gang is incredible.
Love them.
Could not be a better team to put the Ass Boys with than Jay White and Juice Robinson. They're an incredible group. And then the last thing I have to say is that I thought Orange should win until I saw Orange not win. And I'm so glad that he didn't, because that belt now goes to a big-time player. It was not given to some geek on a Wednesday. It was done in front of the a main event, a pay-per-view crowd at the United Center. And then he got his send-off thank you Orange moment, and that was awesome. Podski, love you guys. Oh my gosh, Muhammad Hassan, no!
That main event's great. Orange Cassidy and Moxley just killed each other the whole time. There was tons of blood. Cassidy was bleeding all over the place. I didn't like the ending in the moment. I didn't like him losing to Moxley in the moment. Moxley at this point just feels to me like someone that's really doesn't always need to have a title. But Orange having it taking a major main event player to beat him to win that belt is the right call, in my opinion, in retrospect.
Yeah. And I haven't watched the show at all, but I know that Orange really took a dead title and has made it relevant, and I am glad that that it's on somebody that is a main eventer like Jon Moxley. It seems like anytime there is a pull in case of emergency, Jon Moxley is the one that gets pulled, and he's the guy for AEW. If there's ever any issues,
he should have a long run, but he shouldn't have a longer run than Orange Cassidy had.
Correct. Yeah. Don't let it be longer than Orange Cassidy, but make it prevalent, put some dudes over, have them lose, and have that build into a next feud. Because you're right. I believe that Moxley is one of those dudes that doesn't need a belt to be awesome. And he is fucking awesome.
Sure.